to the Real Estate Scripts Podcast, the show that helps you know what to say when you're talking to buyers and sellers so that you can close more deals and earn more money. I'm Darren Tunstall, a real estate professional, coach, and #1 best-selling author. Let's get into this. Before we begin today's episode, I want to clarify some important points. I am a licensed real estate agent and my DRE number is 018534445. It's crucial to note that this podcast operates independently of my affiliation with Keller Williams Realty and any realtor associations. My primary goal with this podcast is to provide you, our listeners, with valuable information, insights, and practical tools. As a reminder, the purpose of Scripts and Dialogues is to come, learn, practice, and be prepared to fail forward. This is where we make mistakes and help each other out, but we're mostly interested in seeing how we can get better. First, we read through the script word for word, and then we go back and put it into our own natural tone, style, and phrasing. You won't know what to say until you go through the script. So, with that said, many people will say, that's not how I sound, and I totally get it. That's not how you sound. But that is the reason why we practice every day, so that the script becomes you and in your own voice. So, read it word for word first, then go back and put it into your own natural tone, style, and phrasing, and I think it'll work out. Today's script is called Winning Real Estate Negotiations Using Strategic Words and Phrases to Close Deals. And the words and phrases that we're going over today are, if I can, will you? Enough, a favor, just out of curiosity. That's like my favorite. I use that a lot. And could it be possible? And let's go ahead and set this up. In this scenario, you are communicating with a home buyer about the process of making offers and negotiations using specific words and phrases. Requirements are strong communication skills, in-depth market knowledge, negotiation expertise, and empathy and patience. The intention is to demonstrate how you can use the words and phrases to effectively guide a home buyer through the process of making an offer and negotiating the purchase of a property. These are really short and simple. We might even be finished a little early today. Just a little more instruction. Practice it word for word. Go back, put it in your own words, and maybe do it a third time. Just have a little fun and be exaggeratory and just have fun with it. And non-real estate or real estate. It's always fun to do that. Here we go. Okay, Emily and Shannon.
Shannon.
Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good.
All right. You want to go first, or would you like me to go first?
I can, I'll go first.
Okay.
We'll start with, if I can, will you? If I can get the seller to include the refrigerator, will you be ready to make an offer?
Yes.
Awesome.
Am I going or you're going?
You're going.
You know what? That's a good point. Let's do this. Somebody mentioned this yesterday. I forgot who it was, but
we went
let's
either.
alternate.
Yeah, we did that yesterday, Shannon and I. But I wasn't sure
Okay.
if I'm doing that today. Okay. So the word is enough. Have you seen enough properties, Shannon, or would you like to see a few more before making an offer?
I would like to see a couple more before I make my decision.
All right.
A favor. Emily, can I ask you a favor? Will you write a personal letter to the seller explaining why you love this property and why you would be the perfect fit for the perfect buyer for it?
Absolutely.
Great.
Just out of curiosity. What would be the highest offer you'd be willing to make for this property, Shannon?
I think probably about no more than 15,000 over listing.
Okay.
And could it be possible? Could it be possible for you to increase your offer by a few $1,000s to show the seller how serious you are about buying this property?
Absolutely not.
All right. Let's do it again. This time, let's have Emily start with, and you can alternate with the ones that you did not do.
Okay.
Okay.
If I can, will you? So, Shannon, if I can get the seller to include the refrigerator, will you be ready to make an offer?
Yes, I think I would. Okay, enough. Have you seen enough Emily, have you seen enough properties, or would you like to see a few more before making an offer?
I think I've seen enough.
Great.
Word or phrase, a favor. Shannon, can I ask you a favor? Will you write a personal letter to the seller explaining why you love this property and why you would be the perfect buyer for it?
Oh, I think that would be a great idea. And just out of curiosity, Emily, what would be the highest offer you would be willing to make on this for this property?
800,000.
Great.
Could it be possible? Shannon, could it be possible for you to increase your offer by a few $1,000s to show the seller how serious you are about buying this property?
I think I could do that.
All right.
Very cool. All right, so these are more like making offers, negotiation type stuff. Let's use these phrases in a fun way.
Real
Anything.
estate's fun.
Real estate's fun. It is fun. It could be about real estate, doesn't have to be about real estate. It could be about flying kites or jumping out of airplanes or being in a flea circus, right?
Okay. Shannon?
Okay, I'll go first. Emily, if I can show you my my background and my track record, would you be willing to sign a listing contract with me today?
Perhaps. Let's talk a little more.
Sure.
A favor. Shannon, can I ask you a favor?
Sure.
Will you write a personal letter to the seller explaining why you are in prison, and why you think this property would be the best fit for you?
I would be reluctant to do that, but I would have to think about that.
Okay.
Do I look good? Do I look like I just got out of prison?
No.
That was good. I like that one. Just out of curiosity, Emily, what would what what is it that would keep you from moving forward and working with me today?
Probably the fact that you're in prison.
That's a great answer.
Okay.
You know, a great response to that, by the way, is a takeaway too. Takeaway scripts. Takeaway scripts are okay, sounds good. Other than me being in
Oh,
prison, is
yeah.
there any other reason why?
Sure.
Just want to point that out.
Just so everybody listening, Shannon's not been in prison that I know of.
No, I haven't been in I have been incarcerated before, but that was a long time ago when I was young and stupid.
Yeah. I think we've all done dumb stuff when we were young.
I was in
But
witness protection one year. That was great.
but never in prison, just the county jail that was overcrowded.
Yeah. Okay. Could it be possible? Right? I'm on that one.
Hmm.
Okay. Shannon, could it be possible for you to increase your offer by a few $1,000s? That way the seller will include the classic car in the garage.
I think that would be a great idea, but I'm really not interested in having a classic car.
Okay. Oh,
But I guess it would depend on what kind. Now, if it was a Porsche, if it was a classic Porsche, I would probably consider.
okay. Um, so We skipped one.
Enough.
Enough.
We skipped enough?
Yes.
Mhm.
Oh,
So Emily, if I could net you enough profit to sell your home, would you be willing to have me work for you and negotiate the best offer for you?
yeah, that's the end game.
Great.
So, Shannon, if I could get the seller to a 10-day escrow, would you be ready to make an offer?
Yes, I think I would.
Okay.
Okay, I'm bringing everyone back. So we have a minute, unless they join immediately.
Which they
And I
never.
want to kind of do this again around the horn, just as, get some ideas, hear
Okay.
everybody collectively. I think there's so much fun when we do non-real estate stuff, but obviously this is a real estate scripts practice.
But it
So
kind of
Yeah,
having
loosens up it's kind of an icebreaker, right?
it really is an icebreaker. They're just different ways to talk to people and to get people to open up and answer questions in different ways. And, for example, if I can, will you? These are things that we use. These are words and phrases that we use in our everyday language. And I think it's cool how Phil Jones, right? Phil Jones
hmm
has taken these common phrases and put them into techniques for talking to people. They're just common things that we use, and it makes, I think it evens the playing field a little bit. Hey, Frida and Jim, how'd you do?
You did good.
Sold 2 houses.
Nice.
That's
Awesome. Did
funny.
you have a chance to exaggerate, go around and just have fun with it?
A little
Yeah,
bit.
Jim
But then
did. We didn't make it around to he was very creative. And then it was time to go back after that. I thought it was good though.
Gotcha. Well, let's go around again, and we're going to alternate back and forth. We're going to have Emily start us out. We'll go to Frida, go to Jim, then Shannon. So Emily talks to Frida, Frida talk to Jim, Jim talk to Shannon, Shannon talk to Emily.
Okay.
And we'll just start out with, I mean, feel free to do whatever one you want. How's that?
Okay.
Doesn't have to be real estate related. Just have fun with it.
All right. Frida, if I can get the seller to include the alligator farm, will you be ready to make an offer?
Girl, now that will be the clincher. Yes.
No pun intended, right? The clincher.
Exactly.
That's awesome. Good job. All right, Frida.
So, Tim,
yeah,
have you seen enough properties in the mountains? Or would you like to see a few more before you decide to jump over the cliff?
well, I think if I'm going to jump, I'd rather look at properties in the valley.
Okay. Well, well thought out. Thank you.
That is super awesome. All right. Well, if he's jumping over the cliff after seeing properties, I have a question for you, Frida.
Yeah.
What's going on? Just kidding. That was great. All right, Jem, when you're ready.
All right.
Plus, he has to pay cash.
Yeah, that's a worth the jump.
Yeah, well, if you're jumping, you better leave the cash behind.
It's true. True that.
So if I can get the seller to completely repaint the house and expand the backyard by buying the next door neighbor, will you be ready to make an offer then?
Most definitely.
These are great. I love it. Good job. All right, Shannon, you're talking to Emily.
Okay. Emily, can I ask you a favor? Would you mind writing a letter stating that you were just playing around about me being in prison?
Absolutely.
That would be
That's a
awesome.
that's a callback before.
Why would she want to do that when it's true?
Well, he's only been incarcerated, so we know that much.
Yes, I've only been in the county jail and no federal or state prison.
That was a long time ago for everybody
I think I
listening.
was I think I was 21.
Yeah.
Oh, so last year.
Well, thank you.
I want to do something different. We're going to reverse. We're going to go Emily to Shannon, Shannon to Jim, Jim to Frida, Frida to Emily. And I really want to go off of one topic and see where this goes, just for fun. I love this. I want to go back to the alligator one because I think that's kind of interesting. Stick to that topic. If you can get if you can get, the alligator farm included, stick to the alligator, continue whoever's next on the alligator theme. So Emily, let's start us out again.
Okay. I'm talking to Shannon.
Yes.
Okay. Just out of, would it be possible, Shannon, for you to increase your offer a few $1,000s to show the seller how serious you are about purchasing the property and the alligator farm with it?
Oh, I most definitely would.
So we're following the conversation. So pick one and stick to it.
Okay. This is a tough one because I live in Florida, so we're surrounded by alligators.
That's what made me think of it. I'm like, oh, alligators.
Yeah.
Well, so you have an advantage.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Jim, can I ask you a favor? Do you know any restaurants or any commercial food processors that would be interested in purchasing alligator meat?
Well, I know quite a few actually, Shannon. It happens to be, I rep a couple of them.
That would be awesome.
That's great. And that's a real thing, by the way.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. All right, Jim, when you're ready.
All right. So let me ask, have you seen enough properties? I mean, we've seen 94 of them. Are you serious about this? Are you ready to make an offer, or you just want to see everything that's in the MLS?
Okay, no, I'm waiting to find one that has an alligator farm.
Well, we saw two of them with alligator farms. How many more do you need?
Those were very small. I need way larger piece of land with, at least 200 alligators.
Then why don't we buy both of them? And then you've got it.
How much do you think I could pay for that? How much would that be?
Well, just out of curiosity, what would you be willing to pay?
$5?
I think $5.50 might actually do it. Are you willing to raise your offer a little bit?
Yeah, let's do that. 550 it is.
That is so cool. Okay, good job. Love it. And Frida, you're back to Emily.
So Emily, if I could get the seller to freeze up about 200 pounds of the alligator meat with the sale of the property, would you move forward with this offer?
That's only one alligator if you think about it. So now I'd do it for two.
I like that. So if I double that, you'd be ready to move forward?
Yeah.
Awesome. I'm gonna have them do it and they will and we'll ask for the refrigerator and the freezer,
Okay. Full freezer.
full freezer.
It's interesting because it's very small things sometimes like this where that might make or break the deal. I mean, not necessarily a refrigerator full of alligator meat, but if they do include the refrigerator or the appliances, the washer and dryer, these are small things that might make the difference between, 100, 200, 300, $1 million deal. The purpose of this exercise was to follow the conversations, use these different types of words and phrases to talk to people, and we're having fun with it also, obviously. But they're common phrases, and I think incorporating this into how we talk sometimes, or ask questions, or just get people thinking, or uh, give you an advantage in seeing things from a different way or for a different perspective. What are your thoughts?
No, I like it. I think it opens up the conversation and it makes them answer and think about, the next step.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you've been to 94 properties, I think that's enough.
Lord have mercy, yes, indeed.
And at least 92 of them were big enough to have an alligator farm.
Yeah. So
I love how you followed the question though. Like, what if we bought both?
I know that was a good response.
Right? And then you converted that to a $5.50 deal,
Yep.
which was awesome. Doesn't really matter how much it cost, right? It's like if you're willing to come up by 50 cents, then I think we can have a deal. Let me go back to the agent.
So Darren, let me ask a question. Your a favor is that, are we still allowed to write those personal letters? I thought we weren't.
That's a really good question. It's the pictures that really make a difference. I'm going to be very careful in how I answer this. When people are submitting personal letters and pictures, personal letter I can deal with. When you're submitting pictures is where people really get testy with who they want living in their homes. Personal letter, you're trying to pull out the heartstrings. When you send family pictures, somebody could look at a picture and say, you know what? I don't want that family living in my house.
Yeah.
And it's very discriminating when you can visually see something. Now, if you start describing a whole bunch, the best way is to send it back and have them resubmit the offer without anything included.
I agree. I
Because,
think letters are too, it could go the wrong way.
yeah, this is definitely, when I saw that, because I haven't looked at this script, I looked at it this morning and I didn't have a chance to rewrite it. If I had an opportunity to take this out, then I would. So my advice is, if you do get a personal letter, especially if you get pictures, send it back and say please rewrite this without all the personal stuff. Because
I think the only acceptable letter is, I love the big backyard, or I love the kitchen, or, you can't write like me and my 6 kids would love this home, or me and, whatever.
Right. Right. It
You can't describe
borderlines.
the family, but you can say why you love the house.
Right. It's borderlines discrimination. And, we don't want to go down that route. So I would say eliminate it altogether.
Well,
I think the phrase though is great. A favor that really sets up a relationship question. I think it's good. And
I think it's good, but somewhere else. Like
yes,
a
that's
favor,
exactly
can I
what it
get
is.
you to submit all your documents to the lender so we can get that pre-approval letter?
Exactly.
that.
Yes, I agree.
You know,
Yeah.
it reminds me of when Phil Jones was giving the example of just one more thing. The scenario that he described was, remember the old TV show Columbo?
Hmm.
That's what I thought of when you said that. Yes.
Yeah. So, and I know we didn't practice that phrase today. We did a couple days ago, but his phrase, Columbo's phrase, walking out of the scene was always he was walking away and he'd go, you know what, just one more thing. And then he would launch into his whatever one more thing was. Shannon, I think you were going to say something.
Yeah, about the letters. I had an offer that was a letter that was a personal letter that was submitted with an offer um, by a rainmaker in my brokerage. Um, and it went over well. I mean, my seller was like, "That's awesome. I'm so glad that they sent that letter because I thought it was nice." And it really wasn't a letter of why the seller should let them or have them accept the offer. It was just a little bit of, well, we really love your home. It's a nice home. This would be a great starter home for us. Just along those lines. And I think that that kind of closed the deal. But I could see where it can get very discriminatory.
Especially in California.
That's
We're a
why
lot
I
more
said I
Well,
wasn't.
sensitive out
even
here.
saying a great starter home for us gives a lot of information. There's an us for one thing,
Mm-hmm.
whoever the us is. Another starter home, you're giving age in most probability. So I don't know that that's so safe.
Right.
Well, I bought
And
my
that's
starter
why I
home in
said,
my 50s.
go
Just
ahead,
saying.
That's why
sorry.
I said in most probability.
Yeah. Or
But
actually,
you're a young 50, so it's okay.
it was 40s. I take that back. I think it's 40s, late 40s.
And that's why I said I wanted to be careful because it is the context of the letter,
Mhm.
right? It's not necessarily a bad thing. Like if they're just commenting, we love the home, we can see ourselves living here. But once they start describing themselves as well, like, hey, I can definitely see ourselves living here, as a Native American Indian family, this is this, my wife is Filipino, daughter is Chinese, stuff like that. Then we're getting into some gray area where we shouldn't be talking like that. But to say, like, love the home, love the neighborhood, can absolutely see ourselves living here, great schools, that there's nothing wrong with saying that. But when we submit it with pictures and we start describing us and things like that, then you're painting a picture in the seller's head that says, hey, these are the type of people that are moving here. And at the end of the day, a seller can say, I don't want those people living here. And really,
Or they accept the offer, and the people who got rejected could say, well, they have kids, they like the schools, blah, blah, blah. So they didn't choose us because we don't have kids.
right. Yes, exactly. Exactly. I'm gonna, because I'm gonna pull up a form, and this may or may not apply to everyone listening. I wanted to pull up this form. So you'll have to look at your form in your state, but this is the Fair Housing and Discrimination Advisory Form. I wanted to point out this particular phrase right here: examples of conduct that may not be motivated by discriminatory intent, but could have a discriminatory effect. And it says, prior to acceptance of an offer, asking for or offering buyer personal information or letters from the buyer, especially with photos, those types of documents may inadvertently reveal or be perceived as revealing protected status information, thereby increasing the risk of one, actual or unconscious bias, and two, potential legal claims against sellers and others by prospective buyers whose offers were rejected. So they're saying letters, but letters especially accompanied with photos. And that's in this fair housing and discriminatory advisory form. And you would have to go back, and every state's different. So if you're listening to this, or if you're from a different state, you'll want to go back and look at what your state law said. But what I do know across the country, right, discrimination is completely abolished anyways. And we're not, the rules of the land cover that. So that's where that is. So the best thing to do is just eliminate it altogether. But it's not necessarily bad. It's really the context of what's in it. And you're creating more work for yourself anyways. If a letter does come in like that, you'll have to read it. But I would
Do you
say
have to show it to your seller? You have to, or no? You can send it back without showing it to the seller because it is part of an offer, right?
It's part of an offer. The way that it was described in the past, send it back from the agent's perspective and say, please resubmit without a letter or photos.
So you don't have to
And
show it to the seller.
that I would want to go back and ask, like, this is an
Okay.
offer. Am I required to submit this offer, or show this offer to the client? Because I don't want there to be any discrimination. So should I have them just resubmit, or do I actually need to show it now that I have it?
Right.
But that's a good question.
So ask
I
your
don't know
broker.
the answer to that.
Okay. Okay. I'll ask my broker next time I see him.
But this is the type of stuff, knowing this. I mean, we're getting into some contractual stuff, but asking questions because it came from the script, right? We need to know how to respond to certain things like this. When it comes down to legal or contractual stuff, I'm just going to always refer to your broker in your state. And that's all I have to say about that. All right, but that is it for today. We're past 9 o'clock or the time. So I appreciate you all being here, and thank you very much. And we'll stop
Bye,
recording.
guys.
Thank you.
Guys.
Bye-bye.
All right, so that's the script. I hope that you found it useful. Just head over to realestatescriptspractice.com for more resources and downloads. This content is for educational purposes only and does not make any guarantees. We suggest you seek the help and or advice of your broker, coach, mentor, office manager, attorney, and or financial advisor. Brought to you by Darren Tunstall, a licensed real estate agent, DRE number 018534445. This content operates independently of Darren's affiliation with Keller Williams Realty and any realtor associations. The intention is to provide you with valuable information, insights, and practical tools. Please note that all results may vary and participants are responsible for their own actions.